RV.media.
We're having fun yet? This is Randy Adams, RV.media. I'm here with Jace Pierce, and we got a special guest, Jake. Jake, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, y'all. Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, this guy knows the stuff because he graduated from A&M. And what kind of degree you got?
I guess I got all sorts of degrees, but engineering is one of them, but communications is what they say I have. So on paper, it's engineering, but communications.
You talking about railroad engineer or what?
No, sir. No. It's actually agricultural, so I guess I can talk to chickens better than I can talk to people, is what they say there in Aggie land. So.
Oh, okay.
How many Aggies does it take to go RVing?
I don't know. How many?
I don't know. At least one, probably, right?
At least one.
That's exactly right.
We like talking about RVs. We like, making memories. Hey, Jake's got some memories. He got a memory of a 2-year-old when he got stung by a bee.
That's amazing how that something can happen in someone's life. And I don't know if Jake's 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, but when he was 2 years old, he had an RV experience. Go ahead and share that experience with us.
Oh, man, I hate bringing this up, y'all. This is just terrible. But, I was having a great time sitting out there. My grandmother was changing my diaper.
You had a dirty diaper.
I had a dirty diaper.
We've all been there.
Don't matter what age you are. But anyway, she was out there, she was swatting this bee. It came in, and when she was swatting it, I guess, angered the bee. Came down and stung me on the butt. And it was awful, y'all. It stung, but I think it hurt my grandmother more than it hurt myself. She catered me, did everything she could, but again, the experience of being out there on the lake, looking over Canyon Lake and stuff, I didn't have any pain after that, y'all. I really didn't, because the view and the atmosphere of going into being in the RV and having that life was awesome.
I mean, is there any way to verify that this even really happened? Were you really 2 years old?
Do you think my
my
grandmother would take a photo of that? She doesn't want that on her bed. I mean, come on, man. She didn't want that memory.
But Randy, we push this week in and week out as making memories. Now look this was a pretty traumatic experience for a 2-year-old, but it created something, and decades later, he still is talking about it and remembers it. I mean, it doesn't have to get stung by a bee. You can actually go see a nice, beautiful sunset, right, Randy?
Oh, yeah.
Sit back there, get yourself a nice glass of Kool-Aid, join the RV lifestyle in the community, and find out a place you like to go.
100%. Every time. Any RV park there, they have anything that you want to do, and best about it is we didn't have a first aid kit, but was there at the RV park that we had, they had a first aid kit to help us out there as well. Sometimes even those RV parks, they have things that you don't even realize that they have, which is kind of interesting.
Well, they got to be prepared. I was on a ship one time on a cruise, and a guy that was next to the table at the dinner table died that night. They had a little flyer arrangement where he sat the night before, so they're prepared. They've got a morgue in a big old ship. So, RV places, they got to be prepared for all kinds of stuff. But, making memories is, I remember times when me and my dad Boone's Farm Wine out on Canyon Lake,
I'm sorry, I'm a guest speaker. What is Boone's Farm Wine? I don't even know what that is.
It's like Thunderbird wine, but just a little bit.
Yeah, it had real good sweet taste and cheap. And we had it in a wash tub iced down. Boy, we had a good time camping out.
Well, now, Randy, you can just go up to one of those vineyards and you can have, I don't know what, they have all kinds of wines up there and different kinds of things. And that's what we talk about. There's a lot of people that are, maybe traveling right now early this morning heading to his spot. We're just past the 4th of July weekend. There's still lots of summer left. It is hot, hot, hot out there. However, you can get away and get by a river or a stream or get a nice breeze and cool. It isn't hot all night long, but it's still kind of warm out there.
Well, but Jake's a big hunter, and he goes down to some ranches that I think family owned, and they camp out. They got campers. They don't have big hotels down there on those ranches.
We sure don't. It's hard to find water down there, Randy. You've hunted down there a few times in the Big Wells area and Carrizo Springs, and it's very hard to find that type of things. And there's nothing better than having a good RV to hang out there. Also, we're a little bit more
person to each one, or 5 or 6 in one.
We have about 5 or 6 because we got a lot of hunters out there, Randy. We really do.
Now, do you hunt with a gun, a bow, or a knife? What kind of hunter are you?
What about a camera?
We have cameras out there too. We got just about a little bit of everything. Randy, I think you're a big bow hunter, but I prefer the rifle. You tell me the difference between that, but I don't know. I'm a big rifle guy.
I guess I want to give the deer a little chance anyway. But no, I hunted in Mexico 2 separate years, waiting for the big one, and had a lot of deer pass by there. But we didn't have a camper. We had a house we stayed in. And then ESPN came in and shot a guy killing Bambi, and all the rates went up. So I got knocked out of that deal hunting down in Mexico. But I sure enjoyed it. But I've camped in a camper, being out hunting, and I've got a lot of people just before hunting season gets fired up. About now, people are looking for campers for their hunting lease. So we may have some come in. I've got one I may end up selling because I bought it for an employee to live in, but now he's not living in it. And so I may have a cheap one for somebody to take down to the hunting lease and camp down there. I don't blame you, Jake. Do y'all swap them out? Do you buy them, or y'all haul them back and forth, or where do you store them at?
That's a good question. I mean, we actually kind of get them from just either somebody that owns them or anything like that. It's kind of a hard market to get into the RV. I mean, do you have anything that y'all have that we can set on? Because I'd love to, get some more RVs. Ours are getting a little bit older. Get my own. I'd love to have my own.
Oh, so you'd like to set out on your own personal journey of growth and discovery, and reliving the past, getting over some of your past traumas, and trying to create new memories with the RV.
Exactly.
Instead of just hunting and whatever stuff down there, you'd like to go to some of these RV parks and go.
I would love to, because technology, there's good things and bad, but I think with some of these new RVs, I'm a little spoiled. I'd like to have a television. Do these RVs come with televisions? Because
some of these RVs have 7 televisions in them. I think that's the most I've ever seen in one toy haul or fifth wheel. It had 1 inside, 2 outside, 1 in the living room, 1 in the bedroom.
Now that would be awesome. That's something I'd like to have, because you understand the hunting season comes on football season.
How do you get cable out there?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a very good question. You get one of those the satellite things, they're portable, and you just hook it up and point your compass, I don't know, south, east, or west, whatever direction it is, and it hooks right up to the satellite thing. You have your satellite wire, goes right to the TVs.
Well, hold it. Do you have to sign up for a year or 2, or can you sign up for a weekend?
That's a good question. I'm sure right now with the way things are, you could, with a minimal down, you can.
I want a free trial. How about a trial?
It's called a tailgater. They're about $400 or $500 the last time I checked.
Yeah, but those tailgaters, they go to a lot of football games. So I mean.
Well, no, that's the name of the device. It's a tailgater, so you can pick up and have the games on when you actually are tailgating.
Well, you need a tailgate at the football games. That way, if you can't get in a football game, you can tailgate and then watch it from your RV.
That's exactly right, and there are a lot of people that do that. And football is real big with RVing, but
not in Texas.
Oh yeah, it's like $100 or $150 or $200 to park your RV up there by Jerry World or whatever it is.
Really?
Oh yeah, you can go and do the pre-game stuff, and I mean it's a little early in the season right now. Where are we at in July?
Hey, it's not far though.
No, it's about 4 hours.
We're not far from, but I'm talking about football season's going to be here real quick.
Yeah, we did.
Half the year's almost up already. I can't believe how the fast this year's going.
Well, at 200 years old, Randy, time flies by each and every week. So. And that's one of the neat things. I've actually been up to a Cowboys game. We had those little retro trailers, silver and blue. It was the Cowboys color. They rented a spot and went out there and handed out a bunch of koozies, and it was a fun experience. Those tickets back then were high dollar. I can only imagine how much it costs to go to a football game nowadays. That might be for a future show where we can go up there and do a live broadcast from tailgating down there. How's that sound, Randy?
Well, I can't believe they don't tailgate at the Spurs now that we've got a new famous player coming in.
Well, now that I looked at it, y'all, you can have smart TVs, can't you? So AT&T Uverse, if you have it on your phone, you can plug it into your TV.
You have to have Wi-Fi?
You have to have, no, you can use the 5G or whatever, maybe through the satellite. That might be able to put it on the television.
Hey,
so, anyways, to
Elon
get the television, you got to
we
make
need
it
to talk
work.
to Elon Musk. He'll figure out that satellite.
Here's one of the things that we try to, I know this is your first episode with us, Jake, but
yes,
we try to get people's eyeballs away from the phone and off of the TV and into nature with their children, their families, and you're just one of the people that are indoctrinated into living inside of that computer cult.
I am, yes, sir.
So we're trying to break people away, awaken them to the wonders of RV living, aren't we, Randy?
Oh yeah, quality time, and with your family, with your children. Hey, quality time with your girlfriend or your spouse.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things to do with these RVs. And Jake, I don't know if you've listened to any of our shows, but there's a lot of destinations to go to. Just within 150 miles of our radio listeners' area, there's over 400 RV parks. That does not include state parks. I think there was, 70, 80, 90?
What about Guadalupe State Park? And then also there's Gardner State Park. I went to Gardner State Park, and you talk about deer. They were everywhere down there at Gardner. And that's down by Hondo. And I mean deer everywhere.
My girlfriend and I are thinking about maybe buying an RV. We just don't know where we would take it. I know you say these places, but what do y'all think's the best? Who has the best quality?
Well, it depends on how far you want to travel.
Yeah, see, and a lot
Close
of
by.
these are good questions, and I get asked these a lot. And the people, it's like you don't have to go to Yellowstone National Park, even though that is one of the top RV destinations on people's bucket list. There are a lot of places to go that are in the local area. I mean, there's trade shows, there's little towns, you can go by the river. It depends on what you like. Sounds like you like to be out in the woods and do that with hunting, so you might like to do that kind of stuff with your RV. You could take a road trip and go up to Colorado.
Wow.
I mean, and mainly you got these interstates, and there's gas stations along the way that are easy to get in and out with RVs. It's changed a lot since what was it, the 1930s you said, when RVing came along, or?
No,
Yes,
that
sir.
was before then, 1800s.
That was the big boom was when I was looking at it. I've been doing my research. 1930s was a very big boom because during the stock market crash, everybody was trying to get away from the government and travel. They wanted to get out of
Hey, they
Dodge.
would have
do
a
their
place
thing.
to live too, probably.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. And that's where they started getting into. But I've always been very fond of, should I buy new or should I buy Airbnbs? I mean, I'm looking in the market, and I think it'd be a good idea because we want to travel. What should we do?
You rent one at first. Make sure that's what you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, you could rent one. Do you have a truck or a SUV or what?
I got a diesel truck, and,
Oh, so you
and we
can-
have a Jeep that maybe I could pull along. I don't know.
Yeah, you could rent a little. Is it there's going to be two travelers or four travelers? How many people are going to go?
Usually just the two of us. Maybe if my parents want to tag along. Would that be enough room for them?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can get them to sleep 2 or 4. Get a
Hey.
little trailer.
That truck you got pulled a freight train.
Yeah, you could either. They have cabins and little lodges and stuff for renting some of the RV parks, but you could just straight up rent a little bitty travel trailer, a weekend getaway, a little 17, 20 footer that sleeps too. Go see it and spend $100, $200, $300 on the weekend to rent the spot and get the RV going to see if you buy into the RV lifestyle. Because when you start putting money down on an RV with a down payment, the storage, the maintenance, the upkeep, if you're only going to do a one-off trip, probably renting it's the best way to go. That's what I would advise to start off. Then you might get addicted to it.
Well, I see we always travel a couple times a week, going to the coast, going to the ranch, and we like traveling on weekends, but I think it might be more affordable to buy an RV. It would be time for
you
us
got to
to...
figure out which one fits your lifestyle and what you want to do too.
Do you go down to Rockport, Port Aransas area? Or?
I do. Port Aransas is where we usually stay. Yes.
See, Port Aransas is across the ferry. That's pretty expensive. You can still put an RV there, but you can get
go
a
down
spot
through
at...
Carpus. Go down I-37 and drive over. You don't have to fool with
That's what I'm
the
saying.
ferry.
You can Rockport. If you bought an RV, you go put it into an RV park in Rockport. They're probably $300-400 a month.
Yeah.
And then you just drive to the RV.
Can I still do my fishing?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. That's all.
Absolutely.
Well, I had a manager, office manager, worked for me, and she rented a spot down in Port A year round.
Oh, there's a lot of people, and I bought a number of RVs that maybe they were doing it for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, or just tired of doing it. Maybe the children got grown up and they're wanting to get rid of the RV. And speaking of which, let's say that you're that guy, Randy, wanting to sell your RV and get rid of it. What number do we call to get a free estimate on that
Well,
RV?
you can go on the internet, go to our website, RV.media, or you can give me a call, 830-708-4789. Hey, you need to know what your RV's worth. You need an option. Hey, and our overhead is low. And we're not like these big camper places with 100 people working and a big overhead. So you can give me a call and I'll make an offer on your trailer or your RV.
Yeah, and I do know that a number of times you get calls from car dealers and stuff like that, people trying to trade in the RV, but the car dealers don't know what their RVs are worth.
Don't want them either.
Yeah, and they don't, because they might not ever sell it. So they're wanting to, you can get them a good hard bid on that RV. They may not even need to trade it, and you might be able to write a check and get them out of it right now.
Right. But no, we get a lot of calls from dealers taking one in trade on a vehicle or a truck. And so we'd love to make them an offer on that. But with our overhead, it's just me and you, and our overhead being super low, we can step up and we got places to go with them. And that way you're not at home field advantage, because when you drive into an RV place that's got big overhead, hey, they got home field advantage and they'll try to buy your trailer way too cheap.
Man, I was talking to a guy the other day. He bought it's a 2021 travel trailer. He's got $31,000 in it. NADA, wholesale, and all that stuff. And the book was like 16 grand. And he owed about 19,000 on it, which was in reason of retail, but to wholesale it and flip it, sell it to an investor.
Well, back in 2020, they were higher than they normally were. They jumped up in price.
He said he only used it 4 times. He ended up buying 2 generators to go with this RV, and he was wanting to know. He's like, he only 4 times. He's going to lose at least $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, but he's not using it.
Well, here's what happened this past week with me. Man called me, listened to my radio show, learn-to-buy-and-sell-cars.com, and he owes $34,000 on one. You remember the book was $22,000. He never used it. Why?
Yeah, why didn't he ever use it? Not the time?
No, pickup. He needed a pickup to pull it with, and they didn't qualify for the new truck after he bought the new RV and the house payment.
So the debt to
ratio.
Oh, that's annoying.
And so he didn't know what to do, and he owes $34,000, and the full book was $22,000 wholesale. So, he paid way too much during the time when campers were way too high.
And that's one of the things is if you have the truck and already, you're halfway there to getting the RV. You just got to go match one up with the weight and the size and because once you buy an RV, you may love it. It may be the greatest RV you've ever seen, but when you turn around and try to sell it, everyone says it. Have you ever had that with a car experience, Jake? It's the wrong color, the wrong number of doors,
all the time. But it's also kind of going with the debt ratio. It's what can you afford? And I feel like I go to Camping World over there, and I've looked at them, and I can't afford $50,000 or $60,000, y'all. I'm middle class.
New. That's new.
That's new. I understand that, but I just want something that. I listen to Dave Ramsey. I want something I can pay cash for that I can go have fun with my family.
Well, that's why we sell so many RVs, because we buy them if people want to sell them. We take short profits because our overhead is low, and we help others get into the campers at the right price, hoping that it fits their lifestyle, their family, what they're looking for. Because how many times people buy campers, how many times do they trade till they get that final one that they really like?
I don't think they ever get there. I think they're always looking for the next RV. It's insane. I've met people that they're on like their 5th motorhome and they're spending $500,000. I'm like going like these people have lost $1 million in the RV lifestyle. And these one ladies I met, sold a motorhome to, they went and watched birds. Have you ever been bird watching? It's a big thing where you get your binoculars out and you go up down there in South Padre Island and stuff.
I went and looked at eagles in Burnett, Texas. I know we love looking at eagles on the river in Burnett, Texas.
But would you invest millions of dollars into going and looking at eagles, Reddy?
Well, I guess if I had that kind of money to waste, Hey, I've got a gentleman that listens to, here we go again, learn-to-buy-and-sell-cars.com on Sunday afternoon. Call me. He wants to sell me his house when he retires, which is not far off, and he wants to buy a diesel pusher motorhome, and I have one of those personal unit that I want to sell. And he's looking at my Monaco possibility. I sent him pictures, but he listens to my radio show. He wants to sell his house. Him and his wife want to travel. They're going to. He retires. They're going to travel.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm hearing some of the people they're complaining about or chatter on the internet is just the high prices of these RV parks for overnight stays. But they're RV resorts. But some of them have big swimming pools in them. Some of them have water parks in them. I mean, some of them have the amenities. It's not just the hookup. It's the amenities. Some of them have poker night. Some of
Well,
them
right past Jake's parents' house at Canyon Lake, Jellystone Park. I mean, it is growing, got bigger and bigger over the years. I remember it when I looked at buying it 35 years ago. Wished I had. That was a mistake. I didn't do that. But
we could be broadcasting from there right now.
We'd be right there.
It's funny you bring that up, Randy, because I love going to see my parents, but I don't like staying in their house. So I might just have to take the RV if I get one and just park it right next there. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, do you like staying with your parents that much? I mean, I love my mom, but she's a lot to handle. I mean, you've met her. I mean, I love her, but goodness, do you want to be under the same roof?
Okay, well, hey, that's not a bad idea. Better buy you a lot and put your own RV on the lot instead of a house.
You know, there are some economical RVs to starter RVs where you're wanting to go out and get into, buy into the lifestyle. You know, you got to be on the hunt, though. I mean, the prices are kind of deflated now on the new ones. I don't know if you'd want to buy a brand new RV.
Well, I've heard that the 24s are going to be cheaper than the 23s.
Yeah, they said that. Well, the wholesale output right now is over 50% off of a year ago, which is off from a percentage from the year before that. They're not doing good on the new RVs. Everyone's looking for used, but it's driving the price of clean used ones up, or at least they're maintaining stability on them. You know, I don't know. So if you just mainly, I always recommend to people, how much do you want to spend? Are you looking for a payment, or you pay a cash? You know, maybe some people have 10 grand, and usually the guy that's got 10, he sees a bunch of junk, and the next thing you know, he's spending 15. You know, so it just depends on what you want to do.
When I look at it, like I have a budget. You know, y'all know my budget, and by talking to y'all, I understand that I can't afford certain things, but the ones I can afford seem very small at these, Camping World and all these big places, but I just want something that's affordable because maybe I don't like it at first sight, but I can make it a home. Does anybody like their home? I bought a home last year that I really like, but it took me a little bit to make it a home. Can I do that with an RV?
What do you mean?
Most definitely.
It's sometimes
chasing. Hey, I've seen people put regular refrigerators in them. Some of them have washers and dryers. A lot of people buy RVs to live in while they're building a new house. You know how contractors will tell you, I can have your house in 90 days and it takes a year, So you got to have a place to live. Up out at Canyon Lake when I was living out there for a little while, I saw people were buying, they're buying $60,000, $70,000 RVs to live in while they were building a $500,000 house, And so, they wanted to be comfortable. They knew it was going to take more than several months. One of them took a year and a half, but it was a super nice house.
It doesn't have to be a home is what I'm getting at. I just want it to be comfortable.
Yeah, you just need to, if you could get a little smaller weekend getaway. A lot of people think they need this big, mansion to go RV camping, but you really don't. You need a bed, you need a shower, you need a kitchen.
And a television.
Which is fine. You'd be surprised how many people are all worried about that television inside of that RV because that's all they do is watch TV. And granted, it's going to rain or it's going to be bad weather someday when you're camping. You're going to be stuck in there watching that TV. And that's okay, but there's a lot of things to do at these RV parks. There's walking paths. You can have a campfire at night. I mean, you can go stargazing and stuff like that and not necessarily give a rip about the TV. I'm trying to get away when I go RVing.
Well, I had my ex-mother-in-law and father-in-law lived in Columbus, Ohio at one time, and they had a little trailer, and I mean, it was an older one, but they'd fixed up the roof, and they had a little patio on it, and they'd go to Buckeye Lake, which was about a 20-minute drive, and most of the time they went out there to take a nap. I mean, they didn't do anything else. There was the water, and they had TV, and I said, what are we going to do? Nothing. I said, well, okay. Well, they enjoyed doing nothing. They'd take a nap out there, Sometimes we'd spend the night, sometimes we wouldn't. We'd come back, and it was a 20-minute drive, but they had their little camper out there on Buckeye Lake.
And they could just take a nap out there.
They'd take a nap. First thing they did every time was take a nap.
Well, maybe they was tired from the drive. I don't know.
20-minute drive, yeah.
Or maybe they created a habit out of that. That's interesting, though. You talk about a TV and stuff. Here's one thing I knew a guy that did. You ever seen those projectors you can buy in a big blow-up screen?
Oh, yeah.
There was a guy at this one RV park. What he did was he blew that that thing up, the screen up there, and had that projector, and he was watching. It was what kind of it was basketball games or something like. It was in the fall. He was watching basketball games at nighttime on that big blow up screen.
And that's what got me invested into it, Jace. Is like I saw it there in Sattler, Texas, which is near Canyon Lake. We all had a good time. We were floating the river, and then when I went to my buddy's RV park, there was, a big flat screen TV of the ball game on that they had there in the park.
Yeah.
I didn't even need a television. I just had to sit there, look outside of his RV, and I could see the projector that they already had for me, which was pretty awesome.
Some of the park, either people do it or some of the parks actually have those setups, and they have like weekly things,
movies and stuff like that. Even on rainy stuff, they have it covered to where you can go underneath or whatever. I like
Man, time flies.
Man, I can't believe, it really does. Like we're in, just you made time go by quickly, Jay.
Thank y'all so much for
Thank
having
you.
me. I appreciate it.
A word of wisdom, or what I've learned today is don't change the diaper if there is a bee near.
Please don't. Thank y'all again for having me, Randy.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Hey, this is RV.media. Go to our website. Give me a call if you want to sell anything, the good, the bad, or the ugly, at 830-708-4789. Tell 20 people to go to RV.media. Tell 20 people to listen to our radio show. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Jace, great show. Jake, great job. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.